When we hear about the civil rights movement, we often don't think of the disabled, but it's a demographic that has been fighting to live freely in American communities for over 50 years, and their struggle is rarely heard in the mainstream media. They've received far less attention than the fight for racial justice for African Americans and equality for LGBT communities, but their cries for equality can be heard today nationwide. Their slogan is simple: we'd rather go to jail than die in a nursing home. That's because, like so many other social justice issues, this struggle is about profiteering off of America's most vulnerable, with a powerful nursing lobby leading the effort to quash their civil rights. About 1 in 5 Americans have a disability, and over 24 million are severely disabled. Now, the New York Times recently reported that of the nearly 1.5 million Americans in nursing homes, about 200,000 are good candidates to live independently. But the American Healthcare Association, for example, which has some of the deepest pockets in the nursing home industry, spent nearly $1 million on lobbying as of April this year to prevent that. The policies they support force thousands into institutions that could live independent lives and keep wages low for the personal care attendants that keep the disabled living in their communities. Some were born with disabilities that limit their mobility or motor control, while others have been disabled by medical conditions, strokes, or even car accidents. And as the population ages, more and more people will need help to remain in their homes. But the Disability Integration Act, a bill sponsored by Senator Chuck Schumer from New York, could change lives by making access to community-based services a human right. It's a reform that's been a long time in coming, but since the movement began, the disabled haven't been afraid to take extreme measures to be heard. They've organized sit-ins and blockades of buses to get their message across, and dozens are routinely arrested at their annual protests in Washington. Now, the disability rights movement began in 1960, when Ed Roberts, a quadriplegic man, became the first severely disabled student to attend from the University of California at Berkeley. And as a student, he began organizing support services and housing that opened the door to other disabled students. And in 1972, he helped found the first Center for Independent Living, a model for helping disabled people live independently, still used worldwide. One of the most effective disability rights group active today, ADAPT, traces its origins to 1983, when Reverend Wade Blank, a former civil rights activist, helped a group of disabled people in a Denver nursing home create accessible housing. Now, years of direct action pressured the government to pass the Americans with Disability Act in 1990, and transit systems everywhere adopted wheelchair lifts thanks to the work of groups like ADAPT. Although the ADA requires states to offer services to the disabled, it left the door open for the powerful nursing home lobby to collect more federal funding while essentially imprisoning the disabled. Many, especially those on Medicaid, are allowed extremely limited freedom, strictly confined to institutions for all about 1 or 2 days a week. Accessible communities became the next goal of the movement. Throughout the 26 years since the passage of the ADA, ADAPT and their allies have protested in Washington and in their home states. They've even targeted the annual convention of the American Healthcare Association, taking over meeting spaces and their hotel. The Disability Integration Act would mandate that states provide more accessible housing and funding for personal care attendants who help with everyday tasks like cooking and bathing. Now, last year in Texas, which pays some of the country's lowest wages to attendants, disability rights and labor activists occupied the governor's office, but only succeeded in raising base wages to $8 an hour. Now, under the DIA, states would also be forced to pay living wages for those attendants who are overwhelmingly female and mostly minorities. Now, the current makeup of Congress leaves activists fighting an uphill battle for passages of bills like the DIA. A lot is riding on this next election, which could shake up both the House and the Senate. Of course, about $500,000 of American Healthcare Association spending went directly to congressional candidates and was almost evenly split between both Democratic and Republican parties. So regardless of whether seats are occupied by Democrats or Republicans, they'll likely be taking money from the nursing home lobby. Maybe that's why groups like ADAPT focus more on issues than on candidates and political parties. These are human lives, and the stakes are high. Whether or not a bill like the DIA becomes law this year or years from now, it's safe to say that disabled people will continue in their own civil rights movement, even if it means taking jail time, and even if the public isn't paying much attention.